my important figures. I think there are many other countries you could look at. Look at Dubai, for example. Dubai, about 22 years ago, it was not even on the world map. They don't even have a specific, to the best of my knowledge, tourism ministry. But they did it in a very indirect manner. They invited the public by subsidizing the airfare, by launching the airline, by providing the facilities that the tourists look for. Obviously, in my slides later on, I will go through that. But I think it is important that you position yourself, you research what exactly the market needs, before you really open up for any service, whether it's tourism industry, whether it's financial services, or any other sector. I think the buyer will only come to you if you are receptive. If he or she feels that he or she is being welcomed, then they will come. Otherwise, you can do anything on earth, it will not incentivize them. How do we build up a sustainable tourism industry? I have quite a crowded slide here, and I will not run through all those bullet points. But the central message on this slide I want to give is, I think anything you do, whether it's tourism or development of any other service, research is the most important thing. The local, the technical analysis, the market analysis, the ground realities, that's absolutely critical. And that's exactly what I'm talking about here when I say situation analysis. Understanding the host community. I think the host community involvement is absolutely important. If you have tons of visitors and if the host community is not being very receptive to them, they will not make a second visit. They will not be your running ambassador. They will not be your mobile ambassador. So I think you have to prepare the host community from all angles in order to create a sustainable tourism industry. The destination access. Again, it is very important. If you want to travel from US to Kazakhstan, for example, or from UK to Kazakhstan, or from Malaysia to Kazakhstan, or vice versa, I think at the end of the day, any traveler would look at the time it takes, the convenience that it has. So therefore, it is important that you have a very easy access if you really want to promote the tourism. The transport facilities, the geographical location, the aviation, attracting airlines, providing them the right incentives, not sort of cutting down on the fare, but just charging the right fare so that it gives incentives to the tourists who are coming to this country, for example. Understanding the visitors. It's again another very important angle, and I would like to touch upon these. I think the life stage, especially the young families, obviously they have plenty of time on their side, less worries relatively, and they would like to travel and take their kids to new tourism spots. So therefore, it is very important to understand exactly what their needs are and what they're looking for in a new destination. The demographics, attitude and values, the experience seekers, the type of holiday, what sort of holiday can you plan for them to attract their attention. Short breaks, such as spring breaks, Christmas breaks. Purpose of travel, visiting friends and relatives. Destination management, from social trend analysis standpoint. Understanding current and desired visitor market. The development of strategic planning. Market segmentation. These are some of the very important points from the visitor's perspective. The destination product and experience. Again, you have to position yourself looking at the visitor or the tourist perspective as to what he or she would be looking for when they come to your country. And therefore, if you have done the market analysis, if you have done the situation analysis, if you have looked at the likes and dislikes, then you will position yourself in order to cater for their needs. There are some other key factors, such as economic and social impact. obviously it can have a huge economic impact, in particular. It may not have that great social impact immediately, but I think in terms of economic impact, it can have a huge impact, and it could be one of your main foreign exchange earners as well. Industry skills and development, arranging festival and events, looking at and coinciding it with the vacation period, building of the public infrastructure, public health and safety. This is one of the most important and key points that I would like to highlight here. Because if you do not have appropriate medical and health facilities available, if you do not have appropriate safety environments such as drinking water, and things like that, then obviously it can put off the tourist. Culture and heritage, another very important angle that we'll have to look at. Conclusion. I'm conscious of the time, and I would like to restrict myself to 10 minutes. I would like to finish by saying sustainable tourism development involves an integrated whole of community approach. It's not just the job of tourism ministry. I think the whole community has to back it up. The whole community has to buy into this. The whole community has to think that you are going to be the host. The whole community has to think that what you do when a guest comes to you. And I think Kazakh people are very hospitable, pleasant people, very friendly, and I'm sure they will make a great tourism destination in Kazakhstan. I would like to end my presentation with 5 P's for sustainable destination planning, development, and management, and these are key. Policy and planning, and I'm sure you must have heard this many times before as well. Predictive modeling, performance monitoring, performance improvement, and performance reporting. With that, thank you for your attention, and enjoy your afternoon.
Thank you very much for your interesting presentation and keeping on time. I appreciate that. Well, we are moving to our next speaker, and it's a very interesting and experienced person, and I'm delighted to present him as Klaus Michael, who is a member of the German Bundestag and ex-federal minister of economics and technology. He's been minister for 12 years, if I'm not mistaken, and has a very broad international experience and network. And besides his political career, Michael is advising German companies who is investing in emerging markets. So please, floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is President. Thank you for the flowers, but I have not been 4 years minister, but not 12 years minister, but a long time in the parliament, more than 30 years, and in this time I had some experience in many kinds, and I was not only minister for economics and technology, for foreign trade, I was also the minister for tourism in my country, Germany. That would be my real hobby, and it would be easier if I only had been minister for tourism, but it was impossible. Thank you for the invitation. We have some experience with PPP in Germany for over 60 years, and this is a good example. The German National Tourist Board, GNTB, has worked on behalf of the German federal government to promote Germany as a destination for tourists. It informs people across the globe about the variety which Germany has to offer tourists. The GNTB, I say the whole name, German National Tourism Board, which receives funding from the Federal Minister of Economics on the basis of a decision taken by the German Bundestag, is a competent and innovative provider of marketing services for Germany as a tourist destination. The GNDP overarching goal is to promote tourism, particularly in an area of support for SMEs. In doing so, the GNDP, together with its partner from business and the relevant associations, is strengthening the German economy. The German Bundestag has allocated responsibility